Hello everyone, it's Paul Stevens here, editor of Short Term Rentals, and welcome Damian and Deborah. How are you both doing?
Good, thank you, Paul. How are you?
Okay, thanks. Yes, it's been a long time since we last saw each other. We had a couple of calls since lockdown, but yeah, really looking forward to this conversation today about the upcoming Book Direct show.
Absolutely, Paul. Thank you for having us. Really appreciate it.
So I'm going to start. I'm going to let you introduce yourselves and the roles that you play, both within the short-term rental industry and, of course, delivering the Book Direct show, which we're here for today. So, Deborah, I'll start with you on this one.
Sure. Well, Deborah Larby. I'm a property manager and owner based in Sydney, Australia, and I've been in the industry for 15 years. And so I started back in the day where when you get a booking from the OTAs, it was a direct booking. They handed you the booking and you had to run with it. And the reason I'm part of the Book Direct movement is that I want to have that control back of my business, like the good old days. So I've been involved in the industry, and I took a bit of a sabbatical just after the Book Direct show. I had a family loss. So I took my fingers off the pulse while COVID was happening. But I'm back on full board and yes, back with the Book Direct show. And it's been great. Great to be involved in this again.
I'm very sorry to hear about your break, but very glad on the other hand to have you back.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm happy to have a great new focus again and back on board. Yeah.
Deborah. And Damian, take it away.
Thank you, Paul. Yeah, and I'm delighted to have Deborah back this year as well. I'm Damian Sheridan. I'm the founder of the show. I've worked predominantly as an SEO, so in search engine optimization within the short-term rental and vacation rental industry. And really the idea for this show began about 2 years ago, whereby a lot of my clients were asking for various ways to generate direct bookings as well as SEO. And these were areas that I had no skill set in, no experience. So the idea really was born to bring all of these experts together for property managers to learn under one roof in one day. And as you know, you were with us for our first show in London last February, Paul. Feels like about 5 years ago now. And that was a great success. We had good fun, a lot of great education, some super speakers. We had to obviously go just exclusively online last September, but we are back in person this year, really excited, just a few weeks away. And yeah, we are busy behind the scenes preparing contingency plans as well with COVID, that COVID cloud over our heads, but all great, really exciting. And we're really excited about welcoming so many people to our conference, both online and in person.
Yeah, fantastic. I don't envy all the contingency work you're having to do, but I'm sure everyone here will appreciate all the effort that you're going to before next month. So, Deborah, I'm going to start with you. Talking about the show, what sort of topics can we expect to be covered during the Book Direct show, especially as it's the first in-person hybrid iteration of the show following the More Bookings Direct conference in February 2020?
Yeah. Well, look, we've got over 20 topics being covered in this conference. And look, I'm not going to ramble on the whole 20, but just to give you an idea, we've got a topic about a session on booking conversion. I mean, there's no point trying to get guests to your website if your website then fails you to convert that to a booking. We've also had a data geek mine through a huge amount of data about guest reviews. And we share what is the most common reasons for negative reviews and what are the issues that make guests angriest. Would you believe that's what it's about? What makes guests angry? We also talk, there's a session about professionalism, and with the low barrier to entry in the industry these days, a great way to differentiate yourself and to keep the industry's good name is to ensure professionalism. So Nancy McClear's got a great session about that. Trust signals, of course, trust is really important. So Christoph shares the top 5 trust factors to increase direct bookings. We've also got sessions on niche marketing. Pinterest is a great one. There's lots of audience, lots of guests on there. B2B sales, video marketing, a great one. So these are the topics covered and lots more. Oh, there's also one session that mentions Tinder and revenue management. Brilliant. Brilliant. But I'm not going to say anything more about that. You'll have to buy a ticket to hear how Tinder and revenue management can be said in the same sentence.
You've sold it to me already, Deborah. And Damian, what takeaways do you think property managers can expect to learn or understand from the events that you're putting on?
Well, Buzz, as you know from last year, we try to give all of our attendees, both online and in person, just numerous takeaways, not just one or two. So we invite everyone just to jump onto the website, bookdirect.show, and just have a look at our individual speakers and presentation pages. We have asked all of our presenters to give 2 or 3 key takeaways about what they're going to be talking about, what our attendees can learn. So almost impossible, sadly, for me just to identify just 1 or 2, Paul. As I said, we invite everyone just to take a look and see what works for them. But the most important thing for me is that these are all very actionable tips, and ones that we feel, and working with our presenters, that they can easily do themselves on a day-to-day basis, and not something that should be scared of. So yeah, jump on the site and take a look.
Excellent. And I know in the lead up to this show as well, you've done this survey. I believe 120 property managers from 21 countries. So that certainly sounds an enviable amount of work that's been put in during this time, and we look forward to hearing the results of that. So we've just got a couple of questions sort of following on from that. And so, Damian, I'm going to check in with you about what percentage of direct bookings are property managers starting to generate in 2021? Have you seen this increase or decrease from 2020? And perhaps why are they trying to generate these direct bookings in the first place?
Okay, few questions there. One, in terms of percentage of direct bookings. So I'm going to refer to 2 data points here. One is our own survey. As you said, we had about 120 property managers submit their details about this, which was just so fascinating to read. Of that, it was an average of between 10 and 20% of bookings are direct at the moment. We also refer to one of our sponsors, our gold sponsor, Sync B&B, and Alex from Sync B&B, who's also talking at the show. He has some amazing slides all about direct bookings and how they are changing at the moment. And his report across all of their clients, 10,000 plus properties, that states that the percentage is between 18 and 21%. And that is the difference over the last year and a half or so, gone up globally from 18 to 21%. So we are kind of looking at anything from, say, 15 to 21% at the moment across both of these reports. Our own survey, I'm just going to read this now. Our attendees said that 55% of them direct bookings had increased, 15% had decreased, and 30% were roughly about the same. So across the board, mostly it has been an increase since springtime last year, which is a real positive in our minds.
I'll break that last question up for you. So why do you think property managers are actually trying to generate more direct bookings? It's quite well publicized at the moment, this book direct trend, this movement is really growing. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, from the survey, the majority of the answers said that they wanted to pay less commission, basically. And I think given the last year and a half that we've had with COVID, I think a lot of people actually have some coffers they need filling. So everyone wants to save money on paying commission. And then the second most common response was actually control. This is a word that's come up often regarding direct bookings. They wanted to be able to apply their own payment terms and cancellation policies. So basically they wanted to have control of their bookings again. So the 2 main responses were to save money, reduce commissions, and to apply their own policies to their bookings. That was main one. The third response was actually about having unrestricted communications with the guests. I mean, if we're going to seduce a guest and give them the best experience, having unrestricted communication is what we would like. Yeah.
Of course. Thank you, Deborah, for that. And leading on from that, Damian, what are the leading obstacles that you found from your survey that property managers are facing when they're trying to actually generate more direct bookings?
Well, we had this as an open question, which obviously leads to a lot of open answers as part of our survey. This is one of the most common responses was just the market dominance of the OTAs. We cannot compare with them in terms of their huge annual budget and spend. So your average property manager has to think obviously very carefully about where they're going to apply their coffers. So I think this was one of the most outstanding responses that we had. A lack of trust was probably the next most popular response, whereby OTAs are actually telling our prospective guests and clients that we are not a safe place for guests and travelers to book. So there is a bit of opposition to that out there. But we do have many other responses out there, which are, again, just really fascinating, and we will report back on these.
And Deborah, back to you. From the survey as well, what do you find is actually working now for property managers in generating more direct bookings? And are they turning to any specific niches, would you say?
Well, the two main the two main things were email marketing and repeat bookings. So it seems that the managers are getting into the swing of making sure the guest understands that after their stay, if they want to book again, booking direct, there are lots of benefits with that. And also teaching guests how to find other property managers if they want to book elsewhere, how to find that property manager and all the benefits that come with direct bookings. So there's the email marketing after a guest stay that seems to be working. So working with the repeat bookings, and also word of mouth. So guests are obviously talking about their stays, how much money they've saved by booking direct. So these were the two main things that were working for PMs right now. And it's the easiest. You've got a guest staying at your property, then you've got an audience right there to explain to them why booking direct next time is best. So they're the two main reasons that there were the two main things that were working for the property managers right now for direct bookings.
Excellent. And ultimately, I think one of the things that you've said before to me in the build up to any of these events that you've done so far is that sharing knowledge and education is so important with events like these. But I'd like to get your thoughts on why do you think that's the case, and particularly as that's had to develop over the last year and a half, now that we're returning to in-person involvement. So I'll come to both of you, but I'll start with Damian on this one.
I think essentially, Paul, knowledge is power, and knowing where we are in terms of the ideas, the trends, the things that are happening at the moment help us to move forward. But I think even more importantly, for people to be able to share ideas in person, to network, is just an amazing way, not only just to learn, but perhaps just to bring us out of this the hole that we've all been for the last 18 months, without wanting to focus too much on this pandemic. If we can make everyone kind of release those endorphins and make people positive again about this industry, because we will be hitting a boom very soon in Europe, if not already, following our American cousins. So subject to travel restrictions, of course. So I think the in-person event as part of that as well is important. We can all meet up and talk again with real people. But the knowledge, we've put a lot of time and effort into this, into sourcing what we believe are the best speakers out there, not necessarily the biggest names, but the real experts in their field, to present some just different ways, different angles of looking upon generating direct bookings. And those speakers will be available, obviously, for all attendees to speak with afterwards. They're all very affable and accessible people as well. And all the property managers there too are as well. So, and your good self. So yeah, that's why we think it's going to be great.
And Deborah, how would you like to expand on that?
Well, this industry is booming. It seems like every month there's some new piece of technology that we need to incorporate into our businesses. There are more and more people jumping into the industry, more managers coming on board, more hosts, leaving Airbnb school and getting out there. So it's become more and more competitive. So going to conferences and listening to these sorts of speakers, it's a way to stay ahead of the game. It is so competitive. It is constantly changing. You need to keep up to speed on what's going on, what tools to use, how to utilize Facebook for direct bookings. There's so much out there, and this is a way to keep up with what's going on. Yeah.
And as Damian alluded to there, of course, short-term rentals are the exclusive media partner, I believe, Damian.
That is absolutely correct, Paul. Thank you very much. Yes, and we're delighted to be working with you guys again for on a third show. So we really appreciate your support. Thank you, Paul and the team.
We'll be there, of course. We've got a stand on the day. We'll be doing lots of interviews as well if people want to connect with us through there and have their moment to shine on camera. We'll be there throughout the day, and really looking forward to connecting with as many people as possible. And finally, before we sign off, I've got to ask where, of course, can people book their tickets for the 2021 Book Direct show?
The website is probably the easiest place, Paul. It's bookdirect.show and or /tickets if you want to go directly there. But we invite everyone just to take a look around the website, see what the schedule is, check out the speakers, etc. But important to note as well, we do have free tickets too. People can watch all of our online presentations between the 1st and 10th of September. They can watch them for free. If you want to have access to them afterwards, you can pay a little bit more. And of course, we would love as many of you, especially UK-based property managers, to join us on Monday the 13th. And it's going to be a really great day. First out of the blocks in Europe, which we're very excited about. So yeah, we look forward to welcoming everyone and having a bit of fun.
And I would also suggest that they have a look at the schedule page, because I only just scratched the surface with the topics that we're covering. We've got a fantastic panel on inclusivity, and there's so much more. So people should just go onto that page, onto the schedule page, and have a look at what we've got on offer, because it's great.
Brilliant. You've certainly sold it to me there. We're really, really looking forward to it all getting underway. That's on the 1st of September, with the online events leading up to the London conference on Monday, the 13th of September at Tobacco Dock in London. So we'll see you all there. Thank you very much to Damian and Deborah for your time, and can't wait to see you again in person very soon.
Yeah. Pleasure, Paul. Thank you so much. I'll see you in London.
Yeah. Bye-bye.